don't know. No, from your personal experience, have you ever sat down to analyze being depressed and sat down to analyze where did this actually start? Okay, you become okay in your position, like in the state you are.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's a choice then?
No, it's not a choice. It's habit.
Yeah.
A habit is a choice though. Okay, so what you're saying is unconsciously,
you can form a habit without even knowing it.
and unconsciously you become depressed
Yeah.
knowing that you are depressed for life.
Getting yourself out of a depressed mood is different from getting yourself out of depression.
I don't think it is.
You could have a depressed mood. Moods come and go. Some people naturally have a more resilient mindset, which helps them.
Mm-hmm.
So, but there are some people where you need help, which is unfortunately the majority of us.
To have a perfect day and you don't get the results that you expected. That's where you become unhappy and denial mood. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like that.
Okay. Hey.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome again to yet another episode of HeartOnPause.
Thank you.
I'm here today with my co-host.
The number one Davis Noah.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's me, Cindy Lily. And today we have a guest.
Yes, and I would say the third Kofi Appiah Dente.
The third Kofi Appiah.
Yeah. I like that. I like that.
That's interesting. Now, today we're diving straight into the topic.
Yeah.
Today's a deep one, you know. I mean,
Hit me.
we are all wearing black, so I think we are going deeper into it today.
Such a coincidence.
Such a coincidence, for real. Today we're going to talk about depression. It's a broad one. I don't think, just as you said, we are not experts, so I don't think we are going to be able to talk about it the way you might like it. But I think we're going to just share our experiences.
And point of views. And
Point of views.
our ideas about it.
Voila. And how if or not we've gone through it and how we dealt with it.
Who knows? It might influence.
It might.
It might help. That's the thing, not influence. It might help. Yeah. I mean, let's dive deep into our brains first.
Okay.
Where does it start?
Where does depression start?
That's a big question. I don't think any one of us is equipped to answer that question.
I don't know. No, from your personal experience, have you ever sat down to analyze being depressed and sat down to analyze where did this actually start? Have you ever asked yourself that question though?
No, actually not.
No.
I mean, I've asked a lot of questions. I don't think that's one of them.
No.
As in where it came from.
I think that's where we should start from.
But
if you don't know where it comes from, how do you solve it?
How would you define depression?
Yeah. I think, let's see.
Let me search on the internet first. A group of conditions associated with the elevation or lowering of a person's mood. Yeah, that's depression.
So it's not one thing. Okay.
A lot of things can cause it.
Yeah.
And a clinical depression is a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed mood or loss of interest in activities, causing significant impairment in daily life. That's actually a good one.
So being depressed is different from having clinical depression.
Because I had the question.
Yeah,
I had the question here as well.
That's
like,
kind of what it's.
Is it a mental illness?
I would say
it could be
in some sort of way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It becomes a mental illness if you let it.
If you let it.
Yeah. Because I feel like depression always. Okay, based on my experience, depression starts in stages, in forms. You have stages where you just become unhappy with yourself. And you have stages where you become so unhappy that you just don't want other people to see that. You get what I mean? Because you have certain people that will be very happy in environments, like when people are there, but with themselves, they become very unhappy.
Oh, okay.
You get what I mean?
They put on a mask.
Put on a mask. And I feel like, well, if you get past that stage and become so depressed that you are okay with being depressed.
Ooh.
That's where things start to become a little bit mental. Because you see certain things
Different.
that's normal.
Okay, you become okay in your position, like in the state you are.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's a choice then?
No, it's not a choice. It's habit.
Yeah.
A habit is a choice, though.
No, a habit forms
habit
can
is
form
a small
on
word.
its own.
Habit is a small word.
It can form on its own.
Yeah.
But
Habits
it depends.
can form
Isn't it based
its
on
own.
choices that you make?
Some choices can lead up to that, but sometimes it falls out of your control.
Okay, so what you're saying is unconsciously,
You can form a habit without even knowing it.
and unconsciously you become depressed
Yeah.
without knowing that you are depressed for life.
Yeah.
So
a lot of people who are depressed, a lot of people who are depressed don't actually know they are depressed. So it actually depends on where you are.
well, the first step to cure depression, I would say, is acknowledging or admitting that you are depressed.
And that's the first stage that most people actually don't know then, you think?
Well, yeah, because majority of the people don't know the definition of depression. So they see it as, they would say it's a normal thing. Let's say in our society, somebody would be going through depression like pretty bad, but he wouldn't like to speak up or talk to people. Why? People feel like people are gonna mock him, or people are gonna see it as it's life.
So
it's just like, get over it. It's fine.
Get over it.
Especially speaking from exactly as
Our
Ghanaians, we don't do that. So it's it can be looked over if it's like, just get over it. You're just down and you just go.
So do you think then that's the reason why most people are depressed but don't know it, because it's actually not spoken about? It's like when you are depressed, then you mention the word depressed, that's not what's going on. Yeah. It's just life. You're just going through life.
I remember a while ago, I used to think black people don't get depressed. I actually used to think that.
True. Somebody at my work told me, I was like, oh, you get a burnout. He's like, no, black people don't get burnout.
Actually,
I understand that.
But that's just it. We're people too, so.
It's because of the way we were brought up. Yeah. We were brought up as just suck everything up.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's like you just suck everything up. It's like a sponge.
Yeah. Take it as it is. And especially with being a man, it's usually be a man, toughen up, take it as it is, move on. Just, it's always glance over.
Do you think then when you're depressed, you need to stay in your feelings then? Because pointing back at what you're saying, like in society, you're like, be a man, toughen up, it makes me just wonder, if you're depressed, do you have to stay in it, or because eventually you need to get out of it?
Okay. I've never met or listened to somebody who had depression and told me I've gotten out of depression. Majority say they mastered depression.
They've learned to live with it.
They've learned to live with it, because depression is always going to be there. Your mind, the moment depression is not there anymore, is the moment you are dead, because depression is in your mind, and your mind is always gonna think about something.
But I don't agree with it though.
Elaborate.
Because I think you can get yourself out of a depressed mood.
Getting yourself out of a depressed mood is different from getting yourself out of depression.
I don't think it is.
You could have a depressed mood. Moods come and go.
Sure.
But just like the definition said, you could have depression, which is clinical.
True.
Which comes and goes. Sometimes you feel better, sometimes you feel worse, and sometimes it can get so bad. I've spoken to people from my schools I've gone to. I'm mostly from an arts school background, so I meet a lot of people who have been. I'm not saying artists are depressed, but you do tend to meet a lot of artists that are, and usually when you speak to them, sometimes it can get so bad. Yeah. They can't even leave their room. So it can get really bad, which goes out of your control. You can't put anything into it. You can't, you can't do anything basically. And it keeps getting worse and worse. So it's a very weird thing where it creates sort of a cascading effect. You feel bad, then you don't do anything. Then you feel bad about not doing anything. Then it gets worse and worse, and it's like a snowball effect. That's what they call it. It just keeps rolling on, and it gets bigger and bigger. And I don't think getting yourself out of it is the right way to say it. Talk to friends, or if needed, see a therapist.
So then I understand what you're saying. So then, just as you guys said in the beginning, when you tell people, they're like, it's life, toughen up, go on. Then that means if you say you can't get yourself out of depression, then that means it is life.
I'm not saying you can't get yourself out of depression.
That's what you said.
But that's not what I'm saying. That's not exactly what I said.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, you personally might not be able to get yourself out of it. There are some people where it's easier for them to get out of a depressed mood by they've set up maybe some a series of events they can do. They've maybe created some system for themselves where they can catch themselves when they are slipping into that spot and sort of bring themselves back gradually. They've created that for themselves, which makes it easier. Some people naturally have a more resilient mindset, which helps them. So, but there are some people where you need help, which is unfortunately the majority of us are falling into it. You just need someone to help you out of it. And it gets really hard. You don't want to tell anyone. You don't want to talk to anyone, but you have to. And you have to.
I have a question. Why is it that majority of the people don't want to tell anyone if it's something that is so pandemical?
I think, I think it might be, okay, from my point of view.
Yeah, speak from
my personal, your point of view. From my personal dealings with this, it can sometimes stem from shame. The sense that I'm not supposed to feel this way. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to be feeling this.
Okay.
But you are.
Do you think that
it's sort of a denial of the fact that it's even happening?
It's even happening.
I think that's what caused depression. I would say, from my point of view, people would say, I would say, you have no perfect way to have a right day. You just have to have a day.
True.
And if you feel like, well, this is what I need to do to have a perfect day, then I feel like, well, that's where the mental delusion comes from. And that's where you will have a sense of unhappiness. If you did what society said to have a perfect day and you don't get the results that you expected, that's where you become unhappy. And denial mood. It shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like that.
Okay.
It should have gone this way and that way and that way, and it didn't. What is wrong? And sometimes mostly it turns towards inside. Yeah. What is wrong with me? Instead of just asking the simple question, oh, this didn't go well. That's fine. How can I fix it next time? We just go straight up, what's wrong with me? Because I should have done it and I didn't.
I agree with that one.
And is that also maybe your reason for not telling anyone? Or do you think you tell someone when you are depressed?
Me, I don't talk about depression with people.
Okay.
I don't either.
It's my own personal choice. But I like to write myself.
Okay.
I like to be my own kind of therapist. Let me say it like that. So I like to just write how I'm feeling down, write questions for myself now, maybe relax for a bit, come back, read what I wrote. Because I believe every answer is within yourselves.
True.
Especially when it comes to the mind.
True.
So I just need to look deeper within myself of, okay, this is what's going on. What can I do about it? What can't I do about it? And I feel like, well, that gives you, if you can do the things that you say you can do about it, it gives you a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
Because if you are doing, that's why if you are depressed, they tell you do the little things, make your bed, go running and all those stuff. Because it's the little things that give you a satisfaction.
Yeah. The little wins.
Exactly. And as soon as you start to stack that up, I feel like you become more matured, or you become you master that depression that you're going through.
Yeah.
And I feel like, well, that's an important factor. So that's why I agree with you.
Is it not then negative to master depression? How is it a luxury, or how is it even a thing that you have to master depression?
Maybe mastering depression, maybe the statement mastering depression might not be the right one, but it's more or less like mastering yourself through exactly like creating systems for yourself. Like for me, what I do is I've created systems in place where every single day, at least I'll have one win. Okay. And that's good. Even if I don't get the wins I want throughout the day, at the end of the day, I'll have one win. At least. When I wake up, I try to lay my bed or at least gather everything up, make sure my table, my desk is clean. Those little things. If I have to, do something small, I do it now.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, I go to the gym and I train on myself. All those wins stack up. Even if I don't get the bigger win I wanted for that day, at least I always think back. I was able to do this, do that. Oh. I don't focus on what I wasn't able to do. I reflect on it, but I try not to dwell on it because in the past it didn't help.
Okay, I understand that I think that's really clear, because then if you say mastering depression, it's actually thinking of how you can go about depressed moods, how you can go about these bad days.
Being able to deal with it.
Able to deal with it. And I think that's actually a good point, because we're human. We are surely going to get bad days.
Definitely.
Literally, somebody once told me, like, life is a whole lifeline, right? We have a whole lifeline, like how we have for HeartOnPause.
Yeah.
Like what we are talking about. The moment it goes in a straight line, you're dead. You're not alive.
Flight line.
So you need it.
That's what I said.
You need the bad days.
Exactly. You need it.
You need the bad days to be able to go through the good days as well, to be honest. So that means that's how you master depression, let's say. But I don't think the term is a good word.
Well, but I think we get what we just being able to deal with it. And also there's this movie, I think a lot of people might know it, Inside Out. It's a Disney or Pixar movie. It's a cartoon movie. I don't think she will know it. But
wow. I don't think you know it either.
You don't? But nah, it's a pretty cool movie where they show a little girl's life, but they show it from the point of view of her emotions. So she has like 5 distinct emotions. I think it was happiness, sadness, disgust, anger, and the other one was, I think, fear or something like that. And those 5 come into play. A lot of people think they need to be happy all the time. The movie makes it very clear. First, it was happiness steering the wheel, making her happy all the time. Every time sadness tries to interject, try to add anything, they are pushed back. But at the end, they realize that without the sad moments, you can't have the happy moments. You take sadness out of your life, you also take happiness out of your life.
Yes.
True.
You can't have one without the other.
True.
I feel, again, it all comes back to nature. Nature is seasons. Nothing is permanent.
True.
In order for it to evolve, it needs to change. It needs to constantly change. And that's
if you stay at one spot, you're not gonna change. Yes. Like some people say, I'm a happy person, but what does that mean?
What is happy?
Yeah.
What is happy? Is it a feeling? Is it,
lifestyle?
What is it? Yeah.
Happiness is a lifestyle. But what kind of lifestyle is it? What is the actual definition of happiness? What is the ideal happiness? What is the perfect picture of happiness?
I don't think there's a perfect picture for happiness.
Your definition. You need to define it for yourself.
Yeah, you need to define it for yourself. And just as you're saying, if you don't have the rain, you can't have the rainbow.
Exactly.
So you need this.
You need both.
So that means we need these depressed moods. We need these sad days in order to appreciate the good ones. And we need to just find our way to navigate through these emotions that we are feeling. But do you think people use depression as an excuse to be lazy?
Yes.
Some do, yeah.
Some do.
Elaborate.
Well, I feel like it's with everything. People can use the good to do the bad and use the bad to do the good. So with depression, people can be going on and be like, well, I'm depressed because I'm depressed and I can do this. But again, it all comes back to the person and how the person wants to evolve.
True.
Because most people also just like being depressed, like being at the spot because they want
to being in that position.
They like to meditate on pain.
But also, I've realized one thing. some people like the attention depression gets them.
Oh.
Because I've realized this. There are a lot of people that don't get any attention in their lives ever.
Yeah.
Like there are some kids that are almost forgotten in their families. So they get into this depressed mood, or they get sick. Even sometimes they'll get physically ill because of that. And when they realize that people are taking care of them because they are sick, somehow the body will relate it to those specific things.
Is it intentional then?
Sometimes it's not. There are some people that obviously do it intentionally.
Yeah.
Again,
but sometimes it's not. Your body will react
again,
without
it comes
you
to
knowing.
the fulfillment.
Yeah.
If I know, I tell you, and I can be able to manipulate your mind into my favor, then I get fulfilled.
True though.
So again, I'll link depression straightly to dopamine.
I think it does have a link though. Yeah, it does.
Well, because dopamine is a chemical in your brain that actually motivates you. It makes you feel fulfilled. So motivate you or demotivate you. And well, if a person is depressed, like you said, unfulfillment, unhappiness, denial mood, and if I can do anything to not feel like that. That's why also certain people, when they are depressed, they can go ahead and kill a brother or become a sociopath because of the fulfillment. They did that, they get the attention that they wanted.
True. That's how people
sometimes some people think bad attention is better than no attention at all. It's the reason why loneliness, it's used as a torture method. It's the reason why we put people in jail. Because loneliness is very strong. It's used as a torture method and no one likes it. So if you isolate someone, they will try everything possible to get it back. And sometimes bad attention is better than no attention at all.
But nowadays, I thought people also like to be lonely.
Well, like is a big word.
Don't you think? You call yourself a loner.
Yeah, I call myself a loner. And I have a reason for that. Because I experienced certain things with humanity or with people that it's better. You need to have friends. You need to have people around you and everything. But in life, you just need to walk alone. And walking alone, what do I mean with that? Is within yourself. Everybody has a different purpose of being in life.
True.
And purpose wasn't linked to a group. Purpose was linked to an individual.
It's you.
Even though you want to help your brother, you need to be
day,
able to fulfill your day. What you wanted to do in your day first.
True.
You can't help someone if you can't help yourself.
True.
So I would say, I call myself a loner because of my experience. And well, it had something to do with depression.
Yeah, voila.
But again, I got to know other side of people. It's like, for me, I would say nobody cares. Until they have something to gain.
That's very interesting.
It's very interesting though, because when you come to depression, we always like talk to somebody.
Yeah, talk to somebody.
But if you also say nobody cares,
then somebody cares. At some point, somebody cares. But it's mostly your loved ones cares. Your loved ones, they care, right? And why do you think they care? Because they love you.
They love you. They want to see you being good.
Okay. And have you ever thought of this perspective? They don't want to lose you because of the pain that they will feel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good perspective. That makes it.
I have a theory where I say love as humans. See, we talk about unconditional love and whatever it is. I don't think it exists.
No, nobody has
at least not yet. Sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't. Maybe there are some times where it does say a mother and her baby. In that moment, it could be an unconditional love because the mother has nothing to gain from the baby.
Yeah.
Maybe except for a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
But the baby can't do anything for them. So in that case, it could be something that's unconditional. But usually, it's not.
Okay.
There's always something we need.
Yeah.
Even if not something, we want it to be reciprocated. And that alone in itself is not can't make it unconditional because you would like it back.
There's always something back. So there's always a catch.
So like your family cares for you because they don't want to lose you. And when they lose you, is because of the pain they will feel.
The pain they will feel.
It's a part of. I'm not saying that's the full thing.
No, that's not the full thing. But
it's a part of it.
It's a perspective that you can see.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like
that's actually a very good perspective.
I don't know, but when I was sick as a kid, right, and I would tell my mom I'm sick and I'm staying in my room the whole day, my mom would actually cook for me that day. My mom would make my special food and everything. So it gave me a sort of fulfillment. If I want to eat, exactly, that's what I'll be doing.
You get sick.
Exactly. So it's like, it's just the fulfillment that comes with it. It's also human nature.
Everyone has something to gain.
Yeah, it's human nature. And you just need to find out what you can gain.
Sure.
And you just focus on that one. What the person is doing too, it could be sad. But you focus on the bigger goal, I would say.
Yeah. And if, one more question, then maybe we round this up. If you have a friend who is depressed, how do you think you have ever gone about such a situation?
Mostly depression is the person can solve the depression in their head. All you just need to do is listen. What does a therapist do?
Listen.
They are just
all you need to do is just listen. But majority of the people, while a depressed person is talking, they will be trying to advise. That's where the problem is. I'm not asking for advice. I'm not asking for somebody to listen and at least have some sort of understanding.
Empathy for me.
Understanding.
And that's where I feel like most of the people misses it. I had friends who committed suicide. And it got me to the point where maybe a phone call should have saved them. Could have saved them.
Could have. Maybe. But we also can do so much. If the person doesn't ask for it, you wouldn't know.
Yes, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't. And most people don't look on the inside. They're always like looking on the outside, looking at, oh, I'm depressed. Nobody cares about me. Nobody cares. Nobody's listening. I even don't know how to help myself. How is somebody else going to help me? And a lot of questions pop up into.
I feel like it all comes down to how secure the person is with you. What kind of a relationship you would have with the person.
Sure.
And so it's about secure with people, connections, genuine connection with people.
Genuine connection with people. Find like good friends, good relations with people. People and you can actually talk to.
Be genuine.
Pay attention. Be genuine. Because when someone is talking to you, people say what they mean a lot of the time.
Thank you.
You just need to keep quiet and listen. Listen to what they are not saying, the nuances, the changes in their
tone,
behavior, their tone, everything that they do. People tell you a lot. Sometimes we need to listen.
And without them not even talking, people will tell you a lot about themselves or what they want with you based on their body language, everything.
Yeah, true.
All you just need to do, pay attention.
Pay attention.
And I know it's a very hard thing, but yeah.
We need to try it.
We need to try it, at least.
Easy things, everybody can get it, right?
Yeah.
The hard things, those are the precious ones.
Yeah.
That's what you need to value.
Sure, though. Oh, I love this session.
That was a very good one.
I love this session.
Yeah.
I feel like it was really clear.
Very educative.
Very educative.
I like that.
That's a wrap for this episode. Make sure you follow us on all socials. It's been me, Cindy Lily, and
Davis Noah.
And I guess
Kofi Appiah the third.
That's right.
Peace out.
Catch you. Bye-bye.